So think of the 1221 portal as a cosmic clock, and the universal times have an ebb and flow within the natural laws and the natural rhythms of the universe. So our goal as a soul is to get in alignment with our soul blueprint and get that navigating in the ebb and the flow of the universe, and that will direct us to our highest calling. So stay tuned. I'm going to share with you 3 things that you need to know about this portal that's coming up. So before we get started, I just want to say Merry Christmas to you, and may you have a very bright, amazing holiday season. May you come into the connection of the true essence of your heart, and may you share that with those around you. So you're probably finding yourself coming into these full closure cycles. They're repeating themselves from, maybe even 25, 28 years ago, like myself and some of the clients I've been working with. We have this law of rhythm that says everything comes full cycle, comes full circle, and that what we learn from, say, one side of a karmic lesson, we have to shift and learn from the other side. So if we have been not allowing ourselves to receive, and we've not fully had the capacity to connect to our greatest version of ourselves and to embody that, then things will happen to come through and to create situations, different lessons that we need and experiences that is going to reflect to us gaining the parts of ourselves that is going to bring the other side of awakening, activating, connecting, and embodying the sides of us that we've separated from, which is the true essence of the twin flame separation. But as we go through this portal of the 1221 portal, know that it's going to present itself with basically playing all the parts, all the pieces that we've been doing, from the polarities and the contrast from one side of the circle to another, and having brought all of this full circle and closure, is creating this foundation to build our new life, our new love, and our new way to go about things from the place that represents more of our highest truth, our highest timelines. And so one of the first things that you really need to make sure that you get plugged into with this particular portal is choosing your perspective. This is super important because on a bandwidth of belief systems and truths, as we're collapsing the old paradigms and recreating the new belief systems as we come into our sovereign self, so we connect to our own truth and our own belief systems, that is on an array and a spectrum of a perspective that we can choose to look at or we can choose to believe. And there's an array of those that we get to choose from. Some of our old belief systems, even on this journey, our perspectives may fall on a particular part of the journey that we once believed was a certain way about the journey. Maybe, you, for instance, I had this happen. A lot of people I know have had this happen where you had a catalyst that you thought was your twin flame, and that person ended up being a fragment of you, a reflection of you, a part of you that technically was a part of you, but was not all of you. Where a twin flame will come in and reflect all of your parts and bring those into pieces. And so now you might be moving forward in your belief systems, and now you might be connecting to the idea that you can have a twin flame connection with multiple people based on what's going on inside of you. And if that's the case, your perspective, your belief system, your viewpoint is in a different spectrum, a different scale, a higher quantumly connected version of the collective oneness and the quantum entanglement that we're all just helping each other wake up, basically. And that's not to say there's not a twin flame experience and there's not a twin flame, but it's like in the process of this, where do you choose to see your belief system? And so this is super important in this portal, because what's going to happen is, as we close out this universal clock that's coming around to the 1221, ending a cycle universally, and it's bringing in a huge portal of light to help activate us and support us in this new earth in a new way, it's going to present itself with lots of opportunities. That's going to be so important for you to kind of come into this place of which timeline do I want to reside in? And so when it comes to your perspective in this first one that I'm talking about, be really intentional about what you choose as your perspective and basically your belief system about these ideas. That might mean you need to let go of everything that you have believed up to this point to create the space for something new, because you are something new and more has changed and more has happened. Now you have greater awareness that brings more perspective to you, that now you get to choose from a new place. And one of the things that's super important is I just want to share this little analogy that I was writing about on the law of mentalism. And that's one of the universal laws, that everything is, founded on thought, and that all of our thoughts create the collective pool of the connectedness to the whole of all thought, and that all thoughts create, and all thoughts create the spectrum of belief that creates the bringing it into form through thought, because thoughts are things. And through the perspective of that, one of the things that I kind of always reflect on is this time where I put my crystal ball out on the deck. And when I put it out there in the moonlight, just to charge it up. And the next morning, when the sunbeams come up and the light refracted into that crystal ball, and all the energy went into one direct ray of light into a pinpoint on the wooden stand, that light created a reaction, and that caused the wood stand to catch on fire and burn. So that is when you get to this level of awareness and you're up in this higher ascended version, it's very important to where are you going to put the perspective, the energy, the belief, the view. Because when you direct it into one spot now and you put all your attention into that, you can make magic happen in your reality. And, like the catching the wood stand on fire, you can literally make some changes and shifts in your reality if you can use that kind of energy in one place, not all over the place. Choose your perspective. So the second one kind of piggybacks that, because it's choose your truth. And this again is kind of another layer of what I just said. What do you believe through this entire journey thus far? Because you might have believed something from a different perspective at a different timeline in the past. It no longer supports you. It no longer carries out in your future, but it got you here. So because it got you here, it doesn't mean that it's no longer a truth. It is a truth, but it's a truth on a different time and era and space and reality of who you are. So when it comes to calling in, say, your future self and connecting to a version of you that you have not connected to yet, that's going to call for a new belief system. That's going to call for a new truth. That's going to call for calling in a part of you that you can't see yet, which also calls for a connection to your trust and your ability to let go and surrender into the process of finding your frequency to the highest self and following the flow to get there. And so that means that your truth is going to change as you change. So if you're stuck on one truth of something that served you a purpose, even at the beginning of this twin flame journey, and it's not coming to fruition, and you're not any longer that person, you might need to look at a new truth and creating your new truth. Because we've been breaking down the truths of everyone else's, so the truths that we had taken on, that we were clearing, that we created from in the past, might have been coming from some of the other angles of ourselves that was letting go of our familial bloodline and clearing those things so that we could create the space for our own truth. And now that we're in and living that truth, now it's like calling in a new version, and especially with this new portal and opening up this energy, creating space and allowing yourself to come into a higher truth, the highest version of you. And at the end of the day, what it really means is what, where do you want to reside in this portal of energy, in this collective bandwidth of truths and perspectives, and making sure that you choose your reality, which is number 3. So as I said, the third one is choose your reality. And so think of this bandwidth or this highest version of you as being a vision quest, and use this portal as an opportunity to think of it as an opportunity to catch the vision of what's next for 2023 and beyond, and to step into this idea that it is possible to have more, to do more, to be more, if you believe more and you place your perspective on the higher places of what is possible for you and your outcome, your life, and the outcomes for you. So what that really means is that the universe is on a cycle of rhythms of highs and lows, and like the karma from a standpoint of positive and negative and bringing neutrality, and that what comes around goes around, and we're going to have this sense of law of rhythm, that we're going to have the highs and we're going to have the lows, and it's not that it's ever going to be in one place because energy is moving. It's constantly in motion, and that the universe is moving through these rhythms in a cycle that is repeating itself in order for us to learn, grow, and evolve and expand as we go through experiences. So think about, for instance, like if you were to think about, I talk about this mirrored bridge, and a mirrored bridge is an optical illusion. So, and it's got the water and you can see the full circle. So a circle bridge. So if you think about that archway of the bridge itself, that is technically, think about like all the challenges to go up and to get up on top of that hill. And then you can then come down the hill, it gets easier. And if you think about at the bottom of the bridge, just going from the bottom across, and the reflection of the circle or the bridge in the water, that is technically the experiences or the lessons you're learning as you're going from, say, point A to point B on this bridge of life. And in that cycle of going up and challenges, and then you get to the top and it makes it easier, to know that you also get to be the co-creator of your experience. So whether you choose to see it as positive or negative, that is your choice. So in this, when I say choose your timeline, choose your reality, choose your experience could be another way to say that. What do you want your life to be like? And do you want to like allow external forces to take you on a journey to experience things that are going to be less than a desirable experience? Or do you want to start being the co-creator of your life, where you're going to step up, stand up, speak up, and show up for yourself in such a way that you become the leader of your life, which brings you back more power, that gives you the opportunity to start creating the rhythm of your own life, the rhythm of your best days, the rhythm of the type of life you want, and being able to make true magic happen, because you get to be a part of the process of the creation process, and you get to start experiencing some of the things you desire, or some of the things you would like to participate in. So again, think of this whole process as a cosmic clock that's going around, an opening portal that is going through the 1221, which is a mirrored reflection basically of this cycle I'm talking about, this mirrored bridge of the reflection of your experience to going to your next level. And how do you want to navigate it? Like being uphill, downhill, what's your perspective? What truths are you going to choose out of it? And what experience you're going to choose out of it? I'd love to hear what you're going through, what experiences you're choosing, and make sure to ride out this wave and catch it for any new experiences that you're wanting to tap into that can suck you into the vortex of your next level. And that's one of the things I will tell you that Julian and I are doing. And we have a premiere of the She Said, He Said show that's going to air every Sunday starting on January 1st. So make sure to get notified with the notification bell or to get subscribed so you'll know when that comes live and premieres. It will be at 1 o'clock New York time, and it'll be on every Sunday, but our premiere is January 1st. So make sure to join us. And I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and let me know what's going on with you during this quarter, what you're experiencing. I send you loads of love. And again, Merry Christmas. May you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.